The Forge, we need to talk. Ever since we got the last few updates, it's been a couple of weeks, and as you can see, over a period of time, we have gotten a bunch of quality of life changes. However, the game has reached this peak point for community eruption, and a lot of people are very upset. At the time I'm recording, the Forge has only 55,000 players. The reason why I say only is not because it's bad whatsoever. 55,000 players is pretty good for any Roblox game. However, it is a big drop-off. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing over everything that all players are mad about and why this is going to probably be the end of the Forge. I should mention, I do not hope this game dies, and this is only to help provide constructive criticism to the developers so that way they could make it better in the future. But I will say, in my past like 7 or 8 years on Roblox, I have barely ever seen any game come out of this. I've probably only ever seen it once or twice at most. And well, the thing I'm going to be talking about is the end of the game. At the time I'm recording, the developers have gone ahead and completely turned off chatting permissions inside the Discord. Reason for this is because a lot of players expected us to get Island 4. As you know, we've been inside of Island 3 for quite some time. We're still at the Frostfire Expanse, and that came out like about a month ago. That update actually had a lot of problems with it. A lot of things were disliked by most players, and that's when the game honestly lost most of its player count. And it's looking like it's actually going to be far more worse when Island 4 comes out, not because of the fact that it's going to be a bad update, but because of the developers' timing. Fire Attack around 10 days ago from the time I'm recording said, "We've learned our lesson about rushing big island updates. While the map and assets for Island 4 are nearly complete," keep in mind this was like 10 days ago, so this is definitely finished, "we are taking extra time to properly balance the game before release. We want to ensure this experience is perfect for you. Also, before this new expansion, we will work more on quality of life changes, such as the recycle system." We got that actually. RNG lock. We got that. Blueprints, which we did not get. I will discuss this. And upgradable ore and weaponry stationary storage. We also didn't get that. And critical mining QTE. I'm not really sure what that is, but I think we got that. I'm pretty sure what that critical mining thing is basically the ability to be able to hit criticals while you're mining. As you know, now, as of, I believe, a week ago, when they added this brand new update, they added this critical thing, which you can hit these criticals, basically doing way more damage than you would normally. And to be honest, that's a very nice feature. This, however, was something we needed a while ago, and it's fine that it didn't come out a while ago, but it is not fine because of what's happening now. Since it looks like this channel opened, as you can see, a lot of people in here are upset. So no updates. And a lot of people just being completely upset about the fact that this update just did not come out. Now, I have some personal opinions about this because although I definitely want to see this update, I do believe the developers shouldn't rush it. However, that is up to a certain point. Since it's been literally over a month since we got the Frostfire Expanse, I mean, where was it? Is it at this update? Like, actually, the Frostfire Expanse update isn't even in here. We've gotten 4 mini updates since then, with a bunch of them just being bad. One of them being least favored by the community and leading to probably the downfall of the downfall would be the Iceberg expansion, because this introduced the Cthulhu enemies and stuff like that, but it also basically introduced the entire ferry ship that you can go across. This did come with some good changes. You know, they made the main part of the game easier. They did some good balancing changes. However, they also introduced an update that literally was not liked by a single player. I cannot think of anyone who actually liked this one. But, we basically got the ferry operator. It takes you up to that island, blah, blah, blah. You already know about that. But the developers are continuing back to the path that ended the game in the first place. Let me show you guys how much the player count of the game was before we got the Frostfire Expanse. This right here is a graph of the game's player count every single day for its lifetime. And as you can see, it has been tremendously falling. And right now we are at the lowest point over here, which is 55,000 players. But to show you, we actually received the Frostfire expanse right here at this peak. So December 25th was when we received it. But as you can see before we literally received any update on the game had way more players, going upwards of 600,000, and it actually also hit 1 million. The first time we actually got a weekend of Constellation, a lot of players were happy about this because not only did we get a brand new code and more luck, it was the first time we actually ever got this. Now I do have some brand new codes for you guys as well, so stay tuned. But that is what got the game to 1 million players, and ever since then the player count literally fell and fell. The only thing that it went up on was the Frostfire expanse, and obviously with the huge update it's gonna go up. However, the problem is this peak was never higher than what the game used to get. It consistently fell. What I'm trying to say is basically when the developers take so much time to add a big update, and I'm talking like a massive size update like the Frostfire expanse, the game takes a big hit. Because not only are you counting on a lot of players coming back, but you also have to take accountability for the update being good, which when it first came out, a lot of players thought this update sucked. I mean, it introduced this brand new race. We got the Archangel. It's literally 1 in like 1,000, which is just so hard to get. And I think we can all agree it put a lot of pressure on the players because you have to also complete every single one of Sensei Moro's quests in order to get the pickaxes and blah, blah, blah. And now that we're actually getting another world, and this world comes after all of these things that have happened, such as you having to do Sensei Moro's quest and all of that, it's going to be very hard for new players to complete. New players will not be able to access Island 4 for a very long time unless the developers go ahead and make further changes down here in Island 3. Would that make the gameplay easier? When you're an endgame player, getting 1 million for like the Void pickaxe or even things like Prismatic Dragon Head, it's not that hard. But until you're an endgame player, it's very difficult, as you probably all remember. And the only thing a player can do when they make an update so big is just come here and start grinding these mobs so that way they can get enough money, enough levels to access the brand new world while everybody else is getting to enjoy it ahead of time. The reason why this is bad is because it gives new players no chance to actually compete or catch up with current players. And because of how the scaling of this game works, it takes a lot of time to do that. What, in my opinion, the developers should have done is not actually bring the entire Island 4 area to its full experience right off the bat. I mean, based off the leaks, bro, this area looks huge. There's a lot of things. And the boosters got even further leaks. Like, look how big this area is. Then you got this one, and all of these different types of ores coming into the game. This stuff is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love that the developers are able to make this much content that fast. However, they are doing way more than they need to, in my opinion. Excuse me, Elite Orc. You're disrupting the video. Games like Brain Rot ones, like Escape Tsunami for a Brain Rot, add like 2 or 3 different things, and they can get way more than the player count than this game has ever gotten. And I love the idea of saying quality over quantity, but there is a point where that balance gets really bad, and when you provide too much quantity, it is a big problem. The developers are focusing on adding too much content rather than actually, adding it bit by bit. I think a lot of players would prefer that. When we actually got the Dragon Head pickaxe, I think a lot of players were happy about this. I mean, the Spider Cave is a pain in the butt to actually, stay here and want to actually farm in this area. But getting the Dragon Head pickaxe itself was a pretty cool thing. I mean, this is literally the best mining pickaxe in the game for damage. However, instead of fixing some of the problems that are currently in the game, such as the fact that it costs literally 400,000 to put any of these ruins on, the developers decided to go more into depth and add more content and focus on this brand new world instead. There's a bunch of things that are currently going on in the game that I think need a lot more reinforcement or new features that need to be added in to help the current state of the game rather than just dropping an entire giant world for. And the worst part is the developers have a brand new game coming out. While the developer team is a little bit different for this game, Dev Spirit Games has actually Fire Attack, the owner of the Forge, working on a game called The Abyss. And actually, I don't know why it doesn't pop up under experiences, but as you can see, Fire Attack also has the Abyss testing server or dev server favorited. This is a game that he's actively participating in and working on. A lot of people think their focus has shifted to that game, and although I definitely think there is a little bit of focus shift to that in the hopes of making that even a better Forge, it is not entirely there, and I definitely think they still care a lot about this game. And I did make a video showcasing this brand new secret game, so definitely go ahead, check it out. I highly recommend. You're gonna love that video. But that game offers a bunch of features that people literally have been begging for inside of the Forge, and we just don't get it here. One of them was the weaponry station storage, which is what the developers actually promised to come into the Forge. I thought that would be something more of a simple system for add to even this weekend, but instead, no. We got a mining boost once again, Weekend of Constellation, or whatever they want to call it. And obviously, the favorite part of, I believe, the community, aka the thing that is meant to make you shush, is the Forge Weekend 2 being a brand new code. Or wait, did I type that wrong? Okay, this code should be working. Forge Weekend 2, all capital letters with an exclamation mark. And yes, as you can see, that gives you 10 new rerolls. This is their developers' way of saying that people should just honestly shush and just wait until the update comes out, bro. I personally don't really agree with this, because what makes this worse is this is always a mining boost or a luck boost. And if you don't know, that is actually useless. Luck boost works even better for enemy fighting. That way, you know, you can get money to prepare for the updates. But similar to how we had a update come out for, you know, World 3, this is the same exact thing. World 2 got a weekend of mining boost and luck boost. And guess what? The ores inside of this, such as Darkright, are completely useless inside of World 3. So they're basically just giving us a boost that is going to help you get, you know, good resources that inside of the current world, but will eventually be useless inside of World 4 when you actually get there. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love it. It's better than nothing for sure, and I think a lot of people are going to be happy, especially newer players, so that way, you know, they have the ability to catch up a little bit more. But ever since then, the developers really have not said anything, and I think everybody is just freaking out now. Also, literally one of the highest community managers of the game, when somebody asked them new content today, they said, I don't know. So, like, what does that mean? The developers themselves haven't really said anything other than the brand new code, and Ada, who is the community manager right below them, doesn't really know herself. I believe if the developers provided better dates and estimations of when this update is going to come out, it would be a lot better for the game. And I do actually expect them to add that within, you know, the next few days or so. Because if we do not get this update next weekend, I am telling you, the Forge is cooked. There is no shot of saving it. And since they have their brand new game, Abyss, coming out February 8th, I don't really know how that's going to correlate with the player count in this game. I'm interested to know if you guys would love to see more content on that game, because it's brand new and it actually has still a lot for me to do. But inside of the Forge, the only thing I can do is just fight these mobs, bro. And I know you guys find this boring, and me too, bro. I've said it to the developers countless of times, and I definitely think they're trying, and I just hope they continue to take the constructive criticism that they have been, and it'll help out the game for sure. But if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and watch this one on the screen right here. Once I picked it for you myself, I really think it's a good video, and you're going to like it a lot more. But pick it fast. This video is about to end. Until then, catch you in that video. Bye!